Warm blessings, Master Shaman Palaichi here today. Today I wanted to talk to you about anxiety and what is it, why do we have it, and how do we deal with it, or how do we how do we cope with it? So anxiety, which leads to typically depression at the latest state. So anxiety from my shamanic aspect is when someone or a person decides for themselves or chooses to live in a memory or in an emotional state that they remembered a situation that they were in. So this emotional state then causes them to have sadness for themselves or to have fear for themselves. And it has to do with these emotions mostly and mainly of the time. From my shamanic standpoint or viewpoint, people that has had post-traumatic events in their lives, such as going through a war or running from a war, to child abuse, to verbal abuse, to physical abuse, to any kind of situation that is negative and brings a negative impact into your life, where the person can't really go away from because it's within their mind, it is within themselves, right? And this, at a later time and place, causes anxiety. So when a person has anxiety, they're actually not living in the present moment, and they're not willing to get out of this mindset of theirs, this piece of them that they have lived in for maybe quite some time. And maybe for some of you have just gone through a traumatic event and now is living in this traumatic event, maybe choosing to live in it. Maybe you are not choosing to live in it consciously. Like, for example, you don't want to live in it, but there's a subconscious state of mind that you don't know about. This is the intangible part of us as well, that we are not sure what it is, but it just keeps drawing us back to this state or this past time that we, in our memory, have had, and has caused us to have fear or sadness or anger in our lives. And we're going to continue to live in it if we choose to live in it. For some of you, you're going to say, Master Shaman Palai Chi, but I don't want to choose to live in it. I want to choose to get out of it. The question is, have you taken the steps to get out of it, right? And so in answering what is anxiety, it is in fact a choosing or subconsciously chosen to be in a certain state of mind or be in a memory from a different place and time. And it doesn't even have to be this place and time in this lifetime. It can be a past lifetime as well that a person has anxiety in this lifetime for. Now, from the shamanic aspect, my own shamanic aspect and viewpoint, why do we have anxiety? Now, we can have been, it could have been karmic, right? That we are then in anxiety. But technically, what happens when we are in anxiety is that in a different place and time, or perhaps in the future time we have brought ourselves to or towards, we are, so if it's in past, we had let ourselves live in that past time, that past situation, and or emotional state that we remember, and we go into this memory part of us and we live in that memory over and over and over again. And sometimes we as a person don't want to choose to do that, but it gets drawn into that. And the reason behind that in the shamanic viewpoint is there is the spirits of the soul. So various spirits of the soul. And these spirits of the soul are doing that on a subconscious level. Why? And we are saying that they're not that they don't know how to come back to body and protect you, as a person, because that's what they do. You have spirits of the soul that protects the vessel and the soul, right? But when the vessel and the soul is not then protected by these spirits of the soul, then you get drawn back into these memory very easily. These memories that cause negative impacts into your life. And that's also the same way that we have good memories that causes good impact or positive impact into our lives. But then it goes back into, if you keep getting drawn subconsciously, or you choose to get drawn consciously, then you must make a choice to get out of it. You must make a choice to either get healing from someone else that understands your anxiety and or depression states, and someone that can help you to cope with it, whether it's also yourself, that you choose to cope with it yourself first and see how that goes, or you choose to have some healer help you, or another person, friend or family member, help you to get some ideas to cope with. And we have various ideas, right? So there's various ideas on the coping part, such that the ideas of keeping yourself busy, right? Doing multiple tasks or items every day just to keep yourself busy and not thinking about being in that memory or that negative memory, right? Or we are choosing to have a goal for ourselves, so we are working towards a goal. And when we work towards a goal, it keeps our mind off of the anxiety or off the old memories, because we don't want to have them. We don't want to think about them. So we're choosing to work towards a goal. Or we can read various books on different topics and subjects that are interesting to us. We can be watching a ton of YouTube videos on whatever it is that we are interested in, or just brings entertainment into our lives. Why? Because we have anxiety. And when we are living in that, it's never going to go away if we just keep trying to cover that and on and on and on, and in a cycle of covering our anxiety. The only way to get out is going to be through facing it. And then facing it means the willing to heal, the willingness to heal yourself through the conscious level and the subconscious level together. Does that make sense? So your willingness to say, yes, I do have something there, and you acknowledge that you have some anxiety. You acknowledge that you do see that you are living in a past state of mind and not in the present time. And that, or for some of you, you may be living in the future time because you're worried about something. Because maybe perhaps you are very intuitive and you see things that may occur, but you don't know what to do about it, right? So that also brings anxiety too. So that's why they often say, if you haven't known, is to stay in the present time. But staying in the present moment means that you have to be willing to face the truth of where your state of mind is today, right? Is it in a situation that you were in as a child? Is it in a wartime that you had gone through with your family members? Is it in an argument that you've had with your spouse? Or is it in maybe a physical or verbal abuse, right? Situation that you've had before with someone in your life, or someone that's not in your life anymore? Or was it a death that you had to face and grieve towards? So anxiety could be so many various situations that has caused a negative impact inside of your mind, inside of your memory, that you have kept it there in your memory bank. And you keep retrieving it. You keep recalling it to live in it. And you could do that on a conscious level, and sometimes you're choosing to do that on a subconscious level too. So how do we get rid of this anxiety? One thing to do is to understand that you have spirits of the soul. And when you have spirits of the soul, you may not choose to. So here I'm saying, I don't choose to live in anxiety, but there's going to be times when you go back to that memory. And then you're going to live in it for maybe a couple minutes or maybe a couple hours in the day. And when you do that, then it brings again this feeling of sadness, of hopelessness, of having no faith, of having a feeling of anger perhaps, or fear towards the future, or towards even that present moment. And then now you're revisiting that energy frequency in your life. And when you revisit that energy frequency, then it draws again, or attracts again, the same type of energy that you were in that memory, or in that past situation that brought negative impact into your life and that you've been trying to get out of. So one way to go about it is, yes, to keep yourself busy, but also to spend time on meditation so that you can forgive that situation. And to forgive that situation, you must truly forgive it. You're not going to yet forget it, but at least you could put it back into a memory that is not significant. If it's a memory that's not significant to you in your life, then you're not going to remember it as often in your mind, right? So that's one way to do it. If you don't know how to do it, and some of you will say, Master Shaman Palachi, I don't know how to start that, or how to start that cycle of getting into a ritual that I can get rid of this anxiety. Or how do I, if I get up in the morning, I feel it again, how do I get out of it? You must have a blocked schedule, or a schedule or a ritual every daily morning, right? That you're going to do something about it. You're going to be a warrior about it, right? So in my own shamanic aspect, you must regain this energy, new energies of positivity, to overcome the negativity, all right? And negativity meaning anything that has caused negative impact into your life, whether you know it or not, on a conscious or subconscious level, you're going to still battle it if it's causing you fear, anger, sadness, or whatever else that is giving you a negative vibe or causing negative impact into your life, right? Whether it's from people, places, or situations that you have gone through. But these are just some ideas from the shamanic aspect of my own that I'm giving out to you to kind of ponder upon, and to realize that there are some things that you can do. And it's only upon your will and your willingness to get out of anxiety is when you are really going to get out of anxiety and move further into your path and your purpose in this path, in this lifetime. If you have any questions, please comment down below. I'll be glad to respond to whatever that I can. And these aspects are all from the teachings of my own spirit guides, and from my experience of working with various peoples from all walks of life, and even in my own family or my own experience as well. Warm blessings from Master Shaman Palachi, and I'm going to stop here this time, and we'll see you again in the next video. Bye-bye.